This is a video about these solderless connectors, and I bought a bag full of them on Wish, and they came with 4 different sizes. It looks like you got a, what is that, a 18 gauge, 16, 14, or 16 gauge, 14 gauge, and 12 or something like that. Pretty much coincides with your regular electrical connectors, but I was going to do a little video on how these things work. There's kind of a, I've never tried them before, but I just got my wires here and I got the ends stripped on them, as you can see. So you just take this thing and you just slip that wire in there right past this little joint, and that's supposed to be a low solder joint right there. And then I take my other wire and just kind of push it in there so it goes past it, so it kind of pushes in. So both wires, I don't know if you can see that, both wires are pushed through each other right now. So I'm going to center that right there so it's nice and centered. And then I'm just going to put some heat to this thing now with my little torch. And it's going to shrink this, and it's also going to melt that. It's going to shrink that tubing around there. But you watch that middle. I'm kind of amazed at this thing because it almost looks like you're burning it, and it will even catch fire like that. But it soaks that solder in there, and it's a low heat solder. And then you also still have, you can see once it dries off here, you also still have your coating, just a shrink tubing on it, and it shrinks it right down. I got another one I did a little earlier right here, and it's easier to grab it because it's not as hot. I'm going to cut right through where that band is, and we're going to see how good it soldered that wire. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got solder all around it. So yeah, we'll do this one now too. Yeah, those wires are good soldered. That's some really low temperature solder they got in there. But I tell you what, it sure works. And they're good and tight, and they're pretty cheap. I know they come from China, but my gosh, they sure look good. So I like them.